Bianca, my lovely girl, so we meet again.
I remember everything about that night. Thank you. I was alone in my father's house. It was my birthday. It was my 14th birthday, and my father had promised to give me a lavish party. Only he forgot to invite the guests. In fact, the host himself was a no-show. My father forgot his little girl's birthday. And that was a devastating disappointment at the time. It really was, at 14. And I cried my eyes out. When I looked up, there was Richard Field, standing there right in front of me, just like in the movies.
Were you afraid of him?
No. He was a friend of my father's. He was my Saturday afternoon movie idol, my hero. And he told me to dry my tears, and he was very courtly. He seemed very kind. When you're 14, you really believe everything that adults tell you, especially if they compliment you. And so he told me he thought I was pretty. And I believed him. And I wanted to be there celebrating my birthday. And I remember thinking at the time, my goodness, a big movie star like Richard Field, he's celebrating my birthday with me. And I wanted to memorize everything he said and everything he did, so that I would never, never forget that night.
How good of you to come back and visit me.
I came to see Kendall.
Well, Kendall's not here, I'm afraid. Do you remember this morning that you said you were a fan? Well, I've been looking in my scrapbook, and I found some production stills from the film you liked so much, Robin of Sherwood. Would you like to see them?
No, thank you. I have to go.
You are so pretty, you know that. You have what we call in Hollywood star quality. Shirley Temple had it. Margaret O'Brien. Your mother had it, too. I could make you a star. Would you like that?
No, I have to go.
I was naive and helpless. A 14-year-old girl alone with a man who was old enough to be her father. And I trusted him. I never thought he would hurt me. If only someone had been there. Someone who could have stopped him.
You don't want to go. You've only just arrived.
I want to go home. Now!
Nonsense. You don't really want to go home yet, do you, my lovely? You really want to stay with me, don't you?
You can call me every name in the book. And Jack and Trevor and Livia can search the dirt on my father until their hands bleed. But nothing will ever convince me that my father is the monster that you say he is. Nothing ever.
I don't have any sympathy for you.
I don't need your sympathy, and I don't need you.
You really don't need anybody, do you? Only your father, the pedophile.
He's not.
The whole world knows he's a rapist. But you're still up to your eyeballs in denial.
Just leave me alone.
Richard Fields is the worst kind of criminal. The kind that preys on young, innocent children.
That's a lie.
Erica Kane wasn't the first, and she wasn't the last either. You heard what happened to that little girl. Didn't you listen?
I'm not listening to you.
Or anyone else. What will it take to make you see, Kendall? Another victim?
You mustn't go yet. You only just arrived.
I want to go home. Now.
Nonsense. You'd rather stay here, wouldn't you, my lovely? You'd much rather stay here with me.
Miss Kane, Richard Fields testified before this court earlier today that you and he engaged in consensual sex. Now, are you saying that he was lying?
Yes, that is what I am saying.
But he swore before this court that it was you, a 14-year-old girl, who came on to him. Is that a lie?
Yes, that is a lie.
Is it also a lie when he denies that he used any force against you? I mean, is there any question in your mind that you were forced to engage in intercourse?
Richard Fields raped me.
I want to take you back to that night in Los Angeles, your 14th birthday, your father's house. You say you were home alone, and you admitted Mr. Fields into the house because he was your father's friend, and because he was your Saturday matinee idol. Is that correct?
Yes. I didn't realize that he was dangerous until it was too late.
And at what point did you stop feeling safe with your father's friend?
Just a few moments before he attacked me.
So until the very moment that Mr. Fields attacked you, he behaved like a perfect gentleman.
Yes, he made me feel very comfortable. And then he assaulted me. It was a trick. It was a horrible trick.
I told you, I was looking for Kendall. You tricked me.
There. It's all right, my love.
No, it's not. You locked the door.
He was so courtly. When he said that I was a pretty little girl, I thought that it was innocent. When he asked me to dance, I just thought he was being nice.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
What?
What did Richard Fields do after he locked the door?
He changed completely.
How?
Well, everything. His face, his voice, the way he looked at me, the things he said to me. He was no longer complimenting a little girl. He wasn't fatherly, and he wasn't kind. He started to touch me, and he started pawing me.
And you asked him to stop?
Yes, I asked at first. Then I demanded.
And then you gave up?
No, I was kicking and pushing until he pinned both my arms back with his hands. And he did that so strongly that I could hardly breathe.
And that's the point when you stopped struggling?
No, I kept fighting.
And then what did he do?
Then he threw me on the floor. And he forced himself on top of me. And then I couldn't move. Then he was too strong.
So you finally submitted?
No, I never submitted.
How did you resist if you couldn't even move?
I cried and I begged.
And how did Richard Fields respond to your tears and your pleas?
Well, he called me a slut and a tease.
And what did you do then?
Then I screamed for help.
Help! Somebody help!
It's just us two, all alone. You and me.
Somebody help me!
It's very hard for you to talk about the rape, isn't it?
Well, I never ever talked about it at all until just a few months ago.
You never reported it to the police?
No,
You never confided in a friend?
no,
Never told a teacher or a minister or a family doctor?
no.
You never even went to see a rape counselor?
I didn't know that such a thing as a rape counselor existed.
Then I guess we can assume that you didn't join a rape crisis survivors group.
If something like that existed back then, I didn't know about it.
Well, what about your mother? Did you confide in her?
Well, when I finally told my mother suggested that I not talk about it. We both agreed that we would not discuss it.
Why?
Well, we wanted to be done with this whole ugly experience, and we just thought that if we didn't talk about it, we could make it go away.
And could you? Could you make it go away? Were you able to successfully block the entire recollection from your mind?
No, I remembered. But I pushed the memories down so far that they were not able ever to really surface into my thoughts. And that's what my mother and I wanted. I mean, we wanted to rise above what had happened. We thought that by not talking about it, we could make it not real.
But it's real to you now, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's like yesterday. It's like I'm still a little girl.
I know who you are.
Well, of course you do. You've seen me on the television. You said so.
You hurt my mother.
A gentleman would never hurt anyone, and I pride myself on being a gentleman.
You only act nice, but you're really bad.
But I can be very, very, very good, Bianca. And I'd love to show you how good I can be. Right now.
You said Richard Fields held on to you, threw you on the floor, and forced himself on top of you. Now, did you give him any reason to believe that you wanted that?
No, none whatsoever.
But he testified to this court that you gave him unmistakable signals that this is what you wanted. Now, is it possible that you sent some mixed signals?
No, absolutely not.
How can you be sure?
Because I told you that I not only said no, but I fought back.
You fought back, but you didn't fight hard enough to stop him.
I fought with every ounce of strength that I had in me. But I'm small, and Richard Fields, he overpowered me.
Let go!
It'll make you happy, Bianca. Happier than you've ever been in your life.
What did Richard Fields do when you screamed?
He put his hand very tightly over my mouth, making it impossible for me to cry out.
Don't fight it. Oh, please, don't fight it. It'll be so much more lovely if you leave it to me. I want to take care of you. Please, let me take care of you. I want to show you what happiness is.
Was it at this point that you realized that you were not going to be able to get away?
Yes.
And can you describe for us exactly how you felt in that moment?
Objection, Your Honor. The defendant's state of mind at the time of the alleged attack is irrelevant.
Your Honor, Erica Kane's state of mind is not only relevant, it is pivotal. The defense cannot argue post-traumatic stress syndrome without delineating every aspect of the trauma.
I'll know now the question.
Thank you, Your Honor. When you realized no matter how hard you fought, Richard Fields was going to have his way with you, what went through your mind?
Well, I felt utterly lost and deserted. I knew that no one could save me. No one who knew me knew or cared what was happening to me. I think that I felt like people must feel when they're going to die. I felt my life would never be all right again. I felt my life was completely over.
I'll get you.
Whoa, whoa! What happened? Tell me what happened.
even laid a hand on the child.
Are you hurt?
He wouldn't
Of course
stop.
he's not.
Look at me, Bianca.
Don't encourage her. She's delusional.
Tell me what happened.
I said stop, but he wouldn't.
I did nothing wrong.
Shut up. You wouldn't stop one, okay? Tell me what happened. I just want to make sure everything's okay.
It was just an accident, a misunderstanding.
Tell me what happened.
He locked the door.
And then what?
I tried to get away, but I couldn't.
Come here. Oh, I promise nothing's going to happen to you, okay? I'm going to take care of you. You do not have to be afraid anymore. Nothing bad is going to happen to you.
Mommy said never to believe a thing you say. Ever.
I just want to help you.
No, you don't. You only pretend that you're nice, but you're not. You're just like him.
Take your hands off that child.
Grandma!
Oh, why is she here? What's going on?
Oh, shh, get out of here.
What's been happening here? Bianca, why is your skirt torn?
Get her out of here.
Come on, baby. Come with Grandma.
Oh, dear Poppet, look at that face. Buck up. Have faith in your old man. First impressions can be very difficult, you know. I can erase any problems that there are. There's an explanation. A simple explanation. Just have to think where to start.
What did you do after Richard Fields raped you and abandoned you in your father's house?
I cried. I curled up in a ball on the floor, and I cried my heart out for hours.
Why didn't you consider calling someone to help you?
I didn't consider anything. I didn't think anything. I guess I was just in too much pain.
Emotional pain.
Yes. And physical.
Well, can you tell us about some of the physical injuries?
Well, I had big red welts over most of my body, and they turned into large purple bruises.
Do you remember exactly where these bruises were?
Yes, they were mostly on my wrists and on my neck and shoulders and arms and my thighs.
Now, can you tell us how exactly you sustained all these bruises?
Well, from when Richard Fields held me down, when he pinned me down.
So you're saying he held you and gripped you so tightly that he left bruises here and here and here and here? I know this is very difficult for you, Miss Kane, but I would like for you to describe for us how you sustained the bruises on your thighs.
Well, in order to keep me from squirming away, he dug his knees into my thighs and pressed down with his entire weight.
This was a 90-pound little girl. Miss Kane, can you please tell us if there were any other injuries?
There were teeth marks on my neck and shoulders.
Where he bitten
you? Yes.
Could you please describe for us how hard it was, or give us an idea how hard he bitten you?
Well, some of them were bleeding.
Some of the bites were bleeding? Miss Kane, other than the physical pain, what was your emotional state?
Well, I felt abandoned and filthy and sick.
When you say sick, you mean nauseated?
Yes. Yes. But more than that, I felt sick down to the bottom of my being.
Poor little puppet. How do you feel? I hope you're not coming down with a bug. It's just the beastly weather for it, isn't it? You don't look after yourself, that's the problem. We'll have to bundle you up in bed, but leave it to Papa. I'll go out and forage for some soup and tea. I wonder if they have any bottle in this outpost. My dear, you do look so feverish. Let me feel.
If you ever touch me again, I swear I will kill you.
You don't mean that. You couldn't mean that. I'm your father.
Thy father. Kendall's father. What a joke. My father is a pig.
Kendall.
I hate you. You are filthy and disgusting. And I wish you were dead.
Miss Kane, when did your parents learn of the rape?
Well, I told my father early the next morning.
Why did you wait till the next morning?
I had waited up for him all night, but he didn't come in until just before sunup.
How did Eric Kane respond to learning that his daughter had been brutally violated?
He didn't believe me.
He thought you were lying?
Lying, exaggerating. He didn't accept what I was saying.
Well, didn't you see the bruises?
No.
Why is that?
Well, it was dark, I remember, and I was sitting in his den in his brown leather chair. I had taken a shower. I had scrubbed, and I put on this big terry cloth robe, and I had the collar up.
Why didn't you just turn down the collar and let him see the bruises?
Because they were hideous. I didn't want anyone to see them, especially not my father.
Why especially not your father?
I idolized my father, and he didn't believe what I was telling him. He wouldn't believe that his friend had done something wrong.
And what about your mother? How did she react when she learned what Richard Fields had done to you?
I didn't tell my mother.
Well, how did she find out?
One morning, about 5 months after the rape, I stepped out of the shower one morning, and my mother happened to be standing there in the bathroom, and she took one look at my body and let out a little cry. And so naturally, I burst into tears, and then I fell into her arms.
And then you finally told her what Richard Fields had done to you?
No, actually, I asked her what was wrong with me, because I still didn't know. And, well, she sat me down and she started asking me a lot of questions, the right questions. And so pretty soon the whole story tumbled out. When my mother told me that I was pregnant, I was shocked.
Shocked?
Yes, completely shocked.
You were a 14-year-old girl. You'd been raped. You'd been impregnated. How could you be shocked to learn that you were carrying a child?
Because at that time, my knowledge of such things was very sketchy.
You're telling us that at age 14, you still didn't know where babies came from?
No, I knew where babies came from, but technically, but I had never put it together for myself, for me.
And so what happened after your mother explained to you that you were pregnant?
My mother arranged for us to go to Arizona and give the baby up for adoption. She told me that it was very important that no one ever find out. And my mother warned me that we were in for a bad time, but that after that, we would never look back. We would never think about it, and we would never talk about it. And that's exactly what we did.
But didn't you ever miss your little girl?
No, not until after the birth of my daughter, Bianca. And then I did think about my firstborn daughter.
Did you have regrets about giving her up?
I wouldn't use the word regret, but I was very sad. I loved my baby, Bianca, so much. I couldn't help it mourn the loss of my first baby.
So is that when you started to think that perhaps you'd made a mistake?
No, quite the opposite. The demands of motherhood really proved to me that I had made the right choice. I was a grown-up when I gave birth to my daughter, Bianca, and being her mother taps every resource I have. When I was 14, I didn't have any resources to tap. I would have been useless to Kendall.
So you and your mother flew to Arizona, where you gave birth to your daughter, and then you left her in the care of a reputable adoption agency. You then went back to Pine Valley to renew your young life. On that plane ride back, what was on your mind?
I remember I thought, oh, please, God, don't let my little girl suffer the same kind of pain that I have.
Why on earth are you so angry with me? What have I done wrong?
You say that like you really mean it. Are you crazy or are you just the world's best liar?
I don't like your tone.
You ripped Bianca's skirt!
You make it sound like I stalked her. She came to me.
She came to you? What is that supposed to mean? She is a child!
Yes, well, it's quite obvious that she wanted some love and affection. And she could see some warmth in me, and that's what she craved.
Does she crave having her clothing torn? Does she crave being terrified?
You're going to have to take my word on this. In the dance of love, I am so much more experienced than you.
And just how many love dances have you done with elementary school girls?
Oh, my dear Poppet, you are so naive. She came to me, don't you see? That little tease was being coy.
Coy? She was hysterical.
Oh, you have to believe me. She wanted it. They all do.
My God. It's true. It's all true.
Calm down. You're beside yourself.
You're a monster.
This is preposterous.
The horrible things that they said about you. Every single one of them is true.
Take a hold of yourself.
You are a rapist. You rape little girls.
Just about had enough.
No. That's the sickest part, though. You haven't. If I hadn't come in, where would you have stopped?
I have done nothing wrong.
Would you have stopped her ripping off her clothing? Fondling her?
I've told you I have done nothing wrong.
Your whole life is wrong. It's no accident that you are the way you were, a broken-down has-been with no money, no friends, and no family.
You will address me with a modicum of respect.
You are sick and evil fiend.
I am your father.
Everybody tried to tell me. I defended you like an idiot. You were my last chance for a real family. I was going to take care of you in your declining years. I pray that you would live long enough to see my children, But you are sick, and you are a twisted man. When I think about that poor little girl who killed herself. Oh, my God. Erica, she did. Yeah. You raped my mother. She didn't seduce you. It was rape.
Honey, I want you to listen to me, and I want you to never forget what I'm going to tell you. Ever. Bianca, you did nothing wrong. He did. You did not.
But why?
Because Richard Fields is a very sick man who likes to hurt little children. But he will never hurt anyone else again. Not you, not anyone.
It's a good idea. Let her get some sleep.
I was so scared.
Richard Fields has no reason to scare you ever again. I'm going to see to that.
You raped my mother. You tried to rape Bianca. I can't take the sight of you another minute.
Where do you think you're going, you brainless cretin?
Talk to me like that after all that I have done for you.
Don't be such an idiot. Your mother was a love-starved nymphet, desperate for what I had to give her.
Like Bianca.
But now Erica is a lying hellion with an axe to grind, and you want to believe her. Well, I don't care if she's got written affidavits from half the ranting and odd people in the feminist league. I don't care if she's backed by the Law Society. I am your father, and you must believe me. If you walk out of that door, you have nothing. You better stay with me, Kendall. I'm all you have left. Leave me? Who will take care of me?
Who will take care of me? You've cost me all that I had and all that I ever could have had. And do you know what the worst part is? I have nobody to blame but myself.
Please don't go. Please don't leave me.
Burn in
Everything's all right now. Bianca is sleeping peacefully.
Peace? Joe, no one will know any peace until Richard Fields is dead. Joe, what are you doing?
You call the police.
No, I asked you not to call the police until Erica's here. Now please, hang up.
Look, Mona, we really don't want to wait on this. Richard Fields tried to molest that little girl. He deserves to be behind bars.
There's plenty of time to deal with him. Now, I think that Erica is the one who should notify the police. Now, meanwhile, would you please wait here with Bianca while I go out for a few minutes? I'll be right back. Coral went out and...
Look, you're not thinking of leaving, Bianca, are you? You're not serious.
I have something very important that I have to do. And give me your word now that you will not tell anybody about Bianca, because I don't want Erica to hear about this in the wrong way.
Mona, where on earth do you have to go?
Home. I baked a casserole for the church supper tonight. I have to give it to Mrs. Phillips and take my medication. I mean, in all the uproar, I just forgot about everything. And promise me now that you won't do anything about calling the police until Erica's here. There's plenty of time to notify the authorities.
Oh, no, what if he skips town?
Richard Fields? He's not going anywhere. Oh, Joe, thank you for everything.
Mona, you sure you're all right?
If Bianca wakes up, tell her that everything is all right. There's nothing to worry about. Not anymore.
Yes, who is it?
Telegram for Mrs. Fields from Los Angeles, California.
Oh, it's you.
Wasn't sure you'd fall for the telegram, Floyd, but it was worth a try.
Look, I don't know what it is that you want, but I'm afraid I can't help you.
You're packing.
Look, just get out.
It's too bad your trip just got canceled.
Look, you stupid old woman. You have no control over me or where I go or what I do.
Oh, Miss Fields, I beg to differ. I think this gives me a great deal of control. It's a boning knife, very sharp.
The sight of it in your hand strikes fear and loathing into my heart. Well, now that we've had a good laugh, we can drop the phony theatrics and you can go back to your stitch and chatter.
There are no theatrics. Done this before, you know. Killed.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
I warned you that if Erica went to prison, that I would kill you. But that was before you hurt my granddaughter.
I didn't touch that kid.
You ripped her skirt and you intended to molest her just the way you did Erica. Now the time has come for you to die.
You wanted love. Why not turn to them?
I don't belong with them. I told you that.
You belong in hell for what you did to Erica. You dug up her rapist to punish her. You shoved Richard Fields in her face every chance you got.
All I ever wanted was her love.
Oh, bull. You wanted revenge. Erica torn to pieces. Completely destroyed.
That was my father's fault. He lied to me about everything. He told me she wanted him. He called her a slut. I was just stupid enough to believe him. He talked about the life we could have had together in Hollywood, that if Eric had told him he would have wanted me, he would have raised me, and God help me, I was so desperate for love, I believed that
All right,
monster.
now stop trying to blame Mr. Fields for everything, okay? How about what you did to Erica and Dimitri?
I admitted all of that. I testified in court.
You said that Erica found out by accident that Dimitri took you to Los Angeles. That it just slipped out. Well, that's not how it really happened, is it, Kendall? That little piece of information slipped out on purpose.
Okay. Maybe I did tell her on purpose, but only because she was so smug.
You blew her out of the water. You knew she wouldn't forgive Dimitri for that.
Oh. I knew she'd be angry, but I didn't think that she'd never forgive him.
You knew she'd move out. That was your goal. And as soon as you got rid of her, you tried to take her place in Dimitri's bed. Isn't that right?
Right, okay. I said you were right about everything, didn't I?
Well, we haven't covered everything yet, Kendall. You did go to Linden House that morning after we made love. That much was true. But you didn't tell Erica that you slept with me. You told her Dimitri had raped you.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
Isn't that's how it really
No, I
happened,
didn't. That's not true.
Isn't it? Don't lie, Kendall.
No, I didn't. It's not
Okay,
true.
you're pathological. Get out of here.
Okay. Okay, it's all true. I told Erica that Dimitri raped me.
Joe, hi.
Joe, where's Carl? Where's Bianca?
Everything,
She all right?
Everything's all right. Bianca's upstairs. She's sleeping.
Well, is she hurt?
No, she's all right. I gave her a mild sedative to calm her down. Oh, wait, let me briefly tell you what happened.
Well, what do you
before
mean
go running
everything's
upstairs.
fine? What do you mean now? What
Well,
happened?
I'll tell you. Apparently, shortly after you left for court, Bianca called the limo service and got herself driven over to the Pinecone Motel. Gather she wanted to give Kendall a piece of her mind.
I set her down specifically. I told her to stay away from Kendall. She went over there? What did Kendall do to her?
Well, unfortunately, Kendall wasn't there. Not at that moment, in any event.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes, he was there. But Kendall showed up just in time, and nothing happened.
Oh, no, no.
Joe, you tell me. He never touched her?
No, she's
He
all
never
right.
touched her?
No. He tore her skirt and scared her thoroughly, but aside from that, she's fine.
Took him away years ago.
She's sleeping.
Wait, Eric.
I don't care.
Joe, what else?
Well, there's a little more. Shortly after Kendall arrived there, Mona showed up. Kendall turned Bianca over to Mona, and Mona took her, and then she called me on the telephone, and I met them here, and that's when she was a little hysterical, so I gave Bianca a shot. But then Mona took it into her head to leave. Something about she had to go home and take her medication. But I think she's got some crazy idea of getting revenge against Richard Fields.
I would have preferred a gun, but one wasn't available.
You Kane women love to play with sharp objects, don't you? What are you going to do with it? Plunge it into my heart? Well, come on. Go ahead. Come on. Attack me. Why don't you just take this home and cut some brisket with it? You know, I think you are much too good and kind to kill anyone. I hope that's a comfort to you. I leave here with nothing but miserable memories. What are you doing?
Calling the police, which is what I should have done in the first place.
Put that phone down. I said put that phone down. Oh, God. The pen.
Why is she here?
I came to see Anton.
What, to throw yourself at him? Beg for pity? You fell for this?
Tell Dimitri what you just told me. Come on, Kendall, tell him. Go on, Kendall. Tell him the truth, all of it.
All right. I left my father alone at the motel today. When I came back, he was with Bianca.
What?
She came to the Pine Cone looking for me, and she found him.
Where is she? Is she hurt?
No, I mean, she's okay. She's not hurt.
Did he threaten her?
He had her cornered.
Fields went after her. He ripped her skirt, but Kendall got there in time. He never really got to hurt Bianca. Right, Kendall?
I shouted at him to let go, but he listened to me as if he'd never seen me before. So I screamed, and I forced him to let go of Bianca, and thank God he did.
Where is Bianca now?
Wait,
no, where is she?
Mona showed up, and she took her back to Erica's. It was so disgusting, but it woke me up. My father used me. He tricked me into...
All right. What did you tell the police when you called them?
The police? I didn't think to call the police. I just wanted to get her out of there safely, and then I went back, and I told him off, and I collapsed outside, and... Wait, Dimitri, wait! Where are you going?
Nice going, Kendall. She got rid of Dimitri without incriminating herself. But that's the plan, isn't it? Tell everyone now that you were taking in by Richard Fields, that he used you, he tricked you. And forget about what you did to Erica.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing.
You do know now, don't you? Are you still going to send Erica to prison?
Oh, this is very good. This is much better than the attack you faked in court. This is almost as convincing as the one you played in Eric's picture, Appointment with Tomorrow. Do you remember that? That was one of your best pictures, one of the last good ones you made before your career went on the skids. By the way, did you know that the leading lady in that picture was my husband's mistress? I don't think I ever told you that I've seen almost all of your old movies. It hasn't been easy because none of them are classics. I mean, they're cheap, second-rate trash. That's about all you ever did in the motion picture business. That's how you'll be remembered. You're a rotten actor and a vile human being. I used to set my alarm for even 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to get up and watch those old clunkers of yours. Because I wanted to memorize your technique, every bit of it. Do you know why? I wanted to try to understand what it was about you that my daughter could trust. Why you could fool young girls. Oh, you had pity on Erica, didn't you, when you raped her? She begged you to stop hurting her, but you enjoyed, you took pleasure in her pain. Oh, that's a nice touch. That's really very good. But you're a fool if you think I'm falling for it. You may have noticed that I'm older than Erica and Bianca and your other young victims. I know a phony when I see one. I think I'll call the police when I get to Erica's. That is, if she hasn't already called them. It's no accident that all of your victims were children. Any adult would have told you what a miserable, second-class failure you always have been.
Unless you're rehearsing for another one of your phony attacks. Maybe it is, Fields. I can barely find a pulse.
Please, get help. Get help.
You want me to call an ambulance? You want me to forget what a low-life coward you are? What you did to Erica when she was only a child, what you tried to do tonight to Bianca, and heaven knows how many other little girls in your lifetime? You want me to forget what a deranged pervert you are and what, obey some basic instinct I might have to call for help? Well, guess what, Fields? I am fresh out of decent impulses. I lost the last one when my marriage ended. Because it couldn't survive the memories my wife had of what you did to her. So now, Fields, it's just you and me. I mean, here we are. The curtain's about to come down. It's your final exit, Fields. And you're going to keep it in the company of a man who hates your filthy guts.
I hate it.
Check him out. What the hell happened here, Dimitri? Dead? And pulse and respiration.
It's over for him. Just wish I could say the same for Erica and Bianca.
I don't don't want Eric to go to prison, but I can't say that I lied in court and on the perjury.
That didn't seem to bother you before.
You don't know the DA. He's had it in for me for day one. He accused me of wrecking his case. If he finds out that I lied, that I told Erica that Dimitri raped me, he's going to be thrilled to send me up the river to get even.
So you're going to let him send Erica up instead? For 10 to 20 years?
But it doesn't have to come to that. They could declare a mistrial or something. You could convince Dimitri to drop the charges. But you could. Dimitri likes you. He listens to you. He knows how much you care about him and Erica.
This is the kind of help you want from me?
Yeah.
Look, for one thing, it's too late to drop the charges. Dimitri didn't press charges in the first place. The state did. He just cooperated. And now it's almost over. The case is about to go to the jury.
Okay, but you could convince him to make a statement to the judge supporting Erica.
You don't get it, Kendall. I'm not going to tell Dimitri to do anything. This is your mess. You have to admit what you did and accept the consequences.
What if I can't?
If you can't, you know better than your father. You know different than Richard Fields. Go on, Kendall. You must have the DA's phone number memorized by now. Come on, what are you waiting for? If you don't change your testimony, Erica could still be found guilty. She could go to jail.
The only good thing we can say about Fields is he'll never hurt another woman or child ever again.
Amen. You mind telling me how you got here before we did?
Or if you have any idea where Mona might be.
I haven't seen Mona. I left the courtroom. I went home. Kendall was there. She told me what Fields did to Bianca. I tore right over here. I might have killed him myself, but the heart attack beat me to it.
Well, I wonder what Kendall thinks of her old man now.
I just wonder where the hell she is.
Yes. I'd like a one-way ticket from Center City to Australia. Sydney, Australia.
You have to admit what you did and accept the consequences. If you can't, you know better than your father. You know different than Richard Fields.
My name? My name is Fields. Kay Fields.